What's going on? Welcome back to Fanatic Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and where I see things going. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's get right to it. So starting off, this upcoming week is going to be a crazy roller coaster. Starting off with data. So 2 days to watch for, Thursday and Friday. So Thursday has GDP and then PCE on Friday, especially based on what the Feds recently said like a week and a half ago, something like that. They did say they're going to be watching the data to determine future rate hikes or cuts. And yes, they said hikes, so as crazy as that is. But these are two data points that they're really going to be watching for. So no doubtably, that's going to cause a lot of volatility. And when it comes to this upcoming week for companies unveiling their earnings, like this is going to be crazy. So you have Tesla, which no doubtably is going to affect the EV market. You have GM, Microsoft, Google, you have Facebook, you have everyone and their dog unveiling their earnings for the most part, with the exception of Apple. But still, I think a lot of the big players are in this week. But in reality, specific to Lucid, Tesla. And so I guess you can kind of have a side asterisk next to that, because I've even pointed out over this last couple of videos, Lucid surprisingly has been outperforming Tesla over this last week. So of course, take that with a grain of salt, but still, I think Tesla is just overdue for a significant pullback. And I think it's not really dictating exactly what is going to happen to the EV market. Just my own opinion, of course. And when it comes to Lucid, this S2 right here of $2.43 has been holding up like a champ, and that single-handedly has been Lucid's saving grace. So the technicals. So in reality, Lucid is at least has a somewhat positive momentum going into next week, at least that strong support to be held. But no doubtably, whatever does happen to Tesla, if there is a lot of negatives that they do say, which I kind of do anticipate, then that is going to affect the broader market and EVs in general, because Tesla recently announced a layoff. Also, they did announce this, I think it was a couple days back, saying that Tesla will be ending its referral program in the US. I think they are planning on adopting something larger on a global scale, but still, the fact that they just last minute do this, I think that's kind of sketchy. And plus this was just announced like an hour ago. Tesla has dropped their price of FSD to 8,000 from 12,000, which even that 12,000 was a pretty significant cut, and no doubtably is going to be pissing off a lot of people, even more so now that it is 8,000. So ultimately, you do have to give a round of applause to Lucid, because their customer service is far greater than Tesla. Like, I get Lucid, maybe one or two people are pissed off or don't have a good experience, but you don't get this type of crap. I get a lot of people, including myself, complain about various aspects of Lucid, but Tesla, I think all of this is a very negative sign, especially leading into their upcoming earnings. But regardless, I think I went on a side tangent. No matter what, that's going to cause a lot of volatility. So let me know your thoughts on Tesla and their earnings. But aside from that though, the only thing specific to Lucid that you really want to pay attention to is this. So them opening up the questions starting on April 22nd. And so even though this won't necessarily move the stock price, this will lay the foundation for a good earnings, my own opinion. And typically, if you kind of look back, a lot of the questions that are truly asked during the earnings is derived from and posted during the very first day. So I've already done a video on 3 kind of hot topic questions, one of which was China, in my opinion, gravity, and then ESS. I will do a video maybe on the 21st, potentially on things not to talk on, such as profitability, because Lucid isn't prepared anywhere close to being able to answer that, so that'd be a waste of a question. So I'll go over maybe some do's and don'ts essentially, but no matter what, you guys do whatever floats your boat. But like I said, I feel like this upcoming earnings, us asking questions to management, like this is one of the very rare opportunities that we can actually get correct answers. So I think we do have to come as a group from Reddit, from Twitter, from YouTube, like everyone just come together, and that way we can compose some very solid questions. So again, hopefully that works out. But no matter what though, when it comes down to shorts though, you still have all-time highs. So 32.31 41% of the free float is being shorted. So no doubtably, even though it is at crazy high levels, if GDP or PCE is very negative, you are going to see shorts double down. Similarly, I can kind of see and plus anticipate shorts to double down if Tesla misses their earnings as well, just because they would kind of piggyback off of that negativity. So in reality, it's kind of a crazy scenario that Lucid is the most heavily shorted EV out there. And plus, I guess on a side note, the fact that it's at $2.43, whereas companies that have like a fraction of this short interest have done multiple reverse stock splits, have like diluted to kingdom come, like Lucid definitely is in a better scenario than a lot of other EVs. And like I pointed out, I think that has to do and stems from the PIF. But once again, beside the point, just anticipate a lot of activity coming from shorts. Cost to borrow average is 45.36. Utilization is 98.4. And with Lucid closing above 2, but below the 250, you're only having 263 in open interest that is going to be exercised. So that's not going to cause any bump up in the stock price. It's not going to do anything. So all of these options, regrettably, are going to be expiring in the money. And that's kind of the negative of doing options. So let me know your thoughts on that. When it comes down to this upcoming week though, you don't see any of those walls. So in essence, if there is a lot of positives that do come out in the broader market, Lucid could be free to run up to at least the $3 range in my opinion. That's obviously dependent on a lot of things, news being one of them and whatever else. I don't anticipate any specific news from Lucid this week, but then again, they do whatever the hell they want. Most likely they will be continuing to be radio silent up until the earnings, because that's what they typically do. One thing that they've done in the past, at least in 2022 and majority of 2023, if they do have a positive, they like to bring it up 1 week prior to the earnings. Then that way they kind of have a talking point on that, but still that wouldn't be this week. That would be more so for next week. So I think all in all, it will be a fairly positive week, and I'm saying that cautiously only because there's a lot of volatility, a lot of things that could go very right, and a lot of things that could go very wrong. So one thing that you really want to watch for is a lot of the strong support and resistance points. So $2.11, 243, which again has been that saving grace for Lucid. Then aside from that, the next target will be $2.64. So just take a kind of mental note of a lot of these support and resistance points. But on the actual chart itself, it is actually, I'll pull up, I think this is SoundHound, so pull up Lucid right here. So it is lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, more so consolidation over the last couple of days. But like I said, in comparison to a lot of other EVs and growth stocks, this over the last 4 days has been very abnormal and very interesting, as I said in my last video. So looking at stochastic though, you do see a nice bullish deviation, so white line above the red, but it is considered very oversold. So again, if there's a good piece of news, you could see that nice bump up to around that 260 fairly fast. And number of retail investors haven't been doing all that much over the last couple of days. Over the last looks like since April the 4th, they have been slowly getting out, but still I think a lot of people are somewhat cautiously optimistic about their upcoming earnings. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Like I said, there's a lot of things coming out this week that's going to cause a lot of volatility, whether coming from the data points or from companies unveiling their earnings. So ultimately, you could see this S3 and also this S1 both touched within the same week. So if you are looking at averaging down, it might be a good opportunity. Or if you're looking at selling covered calls, especially if it does hover around that 250 mark, might be advantageous once again. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Where do you see things going this week? So throw your price predictions in the comments below. And when it comes down to Tesla earnings, I think everyone and their dog is going to be watching that. Do you think that is a meet or a beat? I do feel that it is going to be a horrific earnings and probably one of the worst Tesla earnings for at least the last several years. So that's just my prediction. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And as I always say, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 added, and they give you $35 of fractional shares of the Mag 7. So pretty good deal in my opinion. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.